I was having a really bad day, I was super busy, and I felt like I had volunteered a bunch of my time, and somebody that I was co-chairing with dropped out on me, and I was looking at a friend of mine and I said, that's it, I'm not going to say yes to anything else. That's it. The next person asks me to do something, I'm saying no. And my phone dinged. And it was Mackenzie. You don't even know this. And I looked down and it said, Mifflin County Child and Youth is having their first annual adoption celebration day. And we would love it if you would come and speak. And I just kind of dropped to my knees, and a couple of tears fell down, and I texted her back immediately and said, oh, of course I will. I was like, absolutely, there's no chance in the world I wouldn't be there. And I just feel like the universe every once in a while just has a way of smacking you upside your head when you're just feeling a little overwhelmed, and this was it for me, and I needed that, and I thank you for allowing me to be here. I knew I was adopted. People ask me all the time, when did you find out you were adopted? And I always say, fresh out. I was raised by a woman who, and I hate to even like differentiate and say the whole my adoptive mom, because she's my mom, period. That's all there is to it. And she raised me to believe that I was special. She told me every single day that I was special, and I believed her. And the older I got, the more I understood that I was special because I was being raised by the most special person in the world. I was being raised to understand that you love people because you love them, not because you birthed them or you didn't, or what, because you just love them, because you take them into your home and your heart and you love them. When I was in first grade, our teacher asked us to write a story about somebody that we were thankful for. And in first grade, I wrote a story about this wonderful woman who babysat me for 9 months in her belly until she gave me to my mom. And my mother was, at that point, knew that she was raising us right. I have a sister who is also adopted. She's Italian, we think, we don't know, but we look alike. When we were little, people thought we were twins. And at my wedding, she stood up, and she could barely speak when she did the speech, and she just looked at me and said, we were meant to be. This is a family that was meant to be. And it meant everything to me. I was on the bus when I was maybe in second grade, and a little boy, since he doesn't live around here, I can just say it, his name's Jimmy Kennedy. He said, I know something you don't know, I know something you don't know. And this went on for weeks. And finally I said, all right, what do you know that I don't know? And he said, you're adopted. I said, oh, what gave it away? The fact that my mother told everyone at Bridge Club that she was having a baby, and 2 weeks later one was sitting in the living room. This was back in the day when people were shamed to be adopted. My parents never, ever shamed me or felt ashamed to have these two beautiful little girls that appreciated being taken in. We learned early that you just appreciate the people who love you. And my husband and I, we decided later in life that we were going to have children. And we started having fertility problems. It never dawned on me that that might happen. And I understand women who have fertility problems. I understand the stress, and you start beating yourself up. But I had this beautiful, relaxed ability to know that if we couldn't have children, we would adopt. Because it's a great option. I said, I'm not going to go through all these medical tests and all this whatnot, because we can adopt. And we were lucky enough. We had 2 children. They just went boom, boom after a couple of years of trying. And they both have special needs, and we had still talked about adopting one day. But because of my children needing extra attention right now, we put it to the wayside. And the other day, Dane looked at me, and he's 6 now, and he has cerebral palsy and is just literally the greatest child on the planet. He has the best attitude. He has the best go-get-it attitude I've never seen in people in their 40s, much less a 6-year-old. And he said, when am I going to get to be a big brother? And I was like, oh, your mama turned 40 last year, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't carry very well. And I said, but you know what? I said, someday we might adopt. And my older son, who's 7, looks at me and says, oh, is that the best you can do? And I said, let me just tell you something. I said, when you're talking about having children, when you adopt, we are the best you can get. People wait in line for us. And I have always felt so special because my mom waited in line for me for years and years. And when I walked in this room today and I looked out here, my mother inspired me from the day I was born. And now looking at this room, you people and you kids are the people that inspire me to this day. And I just want to say thank you for doing what you do and being who you are and opening up your hearts and your homes and making these children the special people in the world. They're going to go out there and they're going to be this special to someone else one day. And I thank you so much.